Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening. Hi, 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 hi. I see some of you guys came in already, about 5 of you guys. Where are the rest of you? Today we got important thing to talk about. I think you have just received or maybe just saw on your Facebook that, we are going to have a full lockdown over here, a full lockdown. So today we are going to see how we can relate to this topic over here instead of just talking about our thing over here. So yeah, some people is like good news, to some people it's like bad news. So if you are watching over here and you want to know the idea of this full lockdown, what is going to happen and how is it going to affect the property market, and especially those who are now shaking, in terms of how am I going to do with my property and things like that, you must be here. So guys, let's tag your friends, share it out to get as many people as you can to come to the live over here. We want to discuss something that is related to what have just announced about 10 minutes ago. Hi, Saril Jamil. Hello. You're watching over here. Please share it out. Okay, yo, Jim Chan, how are you? How do you feel about the news right now?
Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to our weekly Show Me the Money show over here. Yes, JL. Yeah, we also just received the news for about the lockdown, 1st of June now. Talking about the lockdown, no matter you lockdown or not lockdown, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stay at home. Now, some of the people right now they are thinking, staying at home. Then do we want to buy a new home or not? Especially for those who do not at home yet. That means the first time home buyer. Wow, do we still need to buy a home right now? The economy is so unstable right now. Do we wanted to invest in properties? Do we wanted to buy properties right now? Now, I think today is the best time for us to talk about, do we wanted to start the investment or not, especially for the first time home buyers. Now, today our topic is going to talk about where are the good deals for the first time home buyer. If you wanted to know, if you are the first time home buyer, that if you wanted to invest, what is the best buy for you to buy? All right, what is the best buy for you to invest as a first time home buyer? Now, for those here, if you are not a first time home buyer, right now, you don't see it as so sad today. Oh, today is not my topic. I'm not a first time home buyer. Now, you are too wrong already. Why? If you are not a first time home buyer, you can partner with a first time home buyer, and then you also can enjoy the first time home buyer benefit. You get what I mean? Now, for those who understand this, you will get this benefited. Now, for those who are not the first-time home buyer, tag your first-time home buyer friend, tag your first-time home buyer partner, or tag your children, whoever that related to today's topic. Please bring them to this Zoom, and we're gonna talk about today's topic. What is the best buy for the first-time home buyer? And of course, right now we are in the very serious cases right now. I think today is a new high again, 8,000 over cases. And right now we have just received the announcement of the lockdown 1st of June. All right. Now, if you wanted to know how we're going to go about with this kind of economic situations, now is the best time for you to tune in and ask a lot of questions. For those who say hi Surya, hi Wendy, and hi Paris, now is the best time for you to ask questions. All right. Now, great. With that, let us welcome the Asia's #1 business coach and wealth creation strategist, Sifu Ernie. Let's welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Sifu. Hello, Sifu. Yo, Sifu, you see, before we talk about the topic, I think a lot of these people over here watching us, they would want to know one thing. Because recently we have just in your meeting, you told me, the full lockdown is going to come and things like that. So I believe you already have the expectation, as you told us before, that this full lockdown is going to come no matter what. And I believe with your style, with your experience with all these things, one cycle, second cycle already, I think you already have your plan B in your mind. What if the full lockdown returns again? So can you share with us, with this full lockdown over here, your opinion, and also how can what are the things that you have prepared for yourself to be able to thrive again in this full lockdown? Because we remember that at the last full lockdown, and a very short period of time, you actually drive your business to another level. So I believe people who are watching over here would love to hear your opinion and what is actually what you already put in place for this to happen.
I think everyone always need to remember, right? You must never wait for the bad shit to happen. You must always make sure once you have experienced the bad shit, life always repeats itself. History always repeats itself, and that's exactly what we are having a rehearsal. 2020 was a rehearsal for 2021. So if you know what happened in 2020, we should be expecting the whole entire 2021 to repeat in 2021, right? 2020 repeating in 2021. So if you look back last year, this was exactly what's happening. So if you know what's going to happen, you must be preparing always for the worst to happen. I think I keep telling the team that we must not take this few months that they are opening up for us for granted. And a lot of people just waited for things to go back to normal, and we had a moment of going back to normal. I told all you guys, I told everyone, saying that we have these 2 to 3 months. We need to optimize it and generate and execute and collect whatever we can and prepare ourselves for a full lockdown. And then the government came out and said that they are not going to have any more full lockdown, and I was even convinced that they cannot afford it. But the reality is that the numbers have actually skyrocketed, and sure enough, today new high 8,000 over. I think the government finally is a big concern, and that's why they're putting a full lockdown from the 1st all the way to the 14th, which means to say that we are literally going to be having half a year gone. So there are still a lot of things we can do. I think right now what's very important is we have 3 days before they do the full lockdown. This next 3 days, we need to really be generating whatever we can income-wise, or prepare ourselves that we still can move out a little bit to the offices and things to get the things done. I think I was 1 week ahead. I told everyone to make sure we are ready for the full lockdown, and we got ourselves ready for the ability to work from home. So we just have another 3 more days to get ourselves even more prepared and then be launching. Like some of the team members are with me, and we actually prepared to launch some new campaigns today itself. So they came over, they got done all the videos, all the campaigns, and we are launching the campaigns today so that within these next 2 weeks, we have a lot of ads going out. People will be stuck at home. They will be watching our content, our marketing, advertising for everything that we do, from investment to property to stock investment, everything they'll be watching, and we will be able to generate more income from there. So I think preparation is very important, because you never wait for the things to be bad to do. Just like property investment. You don't wait for when you need to buy, then only you buy. You always work ahead of time. I think with this lockdown, it's going to give us an additional time, because by right, we're supposed to end the home ownership campaign, I think, in the next couple of days over here, end of May. With this another additional lockdown, I believe with the economic not doing as well, I strongly believe the government is going to be extending the whole entire home ownership campaign to the year end. Although Tengku Zafro, the Minister of Finance, has said that they cannot be affording that because they need to be generating tax, right? But the reality is that if they do not extend it, they're not going to be able to stimulate the economy. There's still a lot of properties hanging out there. So I think we will be looking forward to an extended home ownership campaign to the end of the year. So supposedly end in the next couple of days. I think it's going to be extended because why? A lot of the bankers who were supposed to process loan, the branches were shut down because why? They all kena COVID and all had COVID testing, and then they had to work from home and things were not moving. So a lot of developers were working from home. A lot of bankers were working from home. There is no way for people to get your loans approved. I actually got one loan approved for myself today, this morning. Yeah, this morning I got another loan approved for one of the properties. And it took me, I think, about 2 weeks. But for a lot of other people, I think they still have not been able to get their loans approved. So the reality is that not everybody is able to work efficiently. And sometimes I wonder, they say government last week, 80% of the government workforce work from home. Can you imagine 80%? And then I go to Giant, right? Yesterday and day before yesterday, I went to Giant. I look at the whole entire car park, all full one. Who do you think is there? I think a lot of government servants are probably at the Giant there during working hours. So meaning to say that people are even more time to kesana kesini. So instead of seeing the clusters growing at the workplace, you start to see probably clusters at where? At hypermarkets lah, and all these other places. Because why? They are packed with people from Monday to Friday. I was trying to avoid going on weekends because every weekend I'm running seminars. And then I wanted to be able to go on a weekday expecting lesser people and to be safer. But then when I went there weekdays, I saw the car park all totally full. NSK is full, Giant is full, a lot of places are full. Meaning to say that people are supposed to be staying at home. They are running around. So all this partial lockdown does not work. Let's have a full lockdown so that we can actually really, really get this over and done with. And that means a lot of investment opportunities for the stock market in the next 2 weeks coming up. Why? Because usually full lockdown, everybody at home, nothing to do. They go and play the stock market. And then after that, they come back out. What do? They buy properties. So that's exactly what's going to be happening. And you heard it from me here first. So do something and be prepared for that. Yes, Justin, watch me live at home. Make sure you watch. You don't just talk. You watch.
All right, Ken. Now, Sifu, let me ask you this over here. I believe the past, I think, how long we has been doing property. I think property we have been doing for the last 2 weeks, two months already for Show Me the Money Show over here. And we have been telling people to buy. But I believe at this time, right, especially full lockdown, right, would that be still beneficial for people to get into it right now? Like those that have not signed the SMP but is about to sign SMP, facing this pandemic over here, facing this lockdown at 1st of June over here, would that still be a good idea to go into it, especially for first-time home buyer?
I think if you're a first-time home buyer, meaning to say that you are buying your property for you to stay or buying your property for you to invest. Either way, if you've been preparing and ready and there's a right deal for you, you buy. You never have the right time because it's going to have more discount or whatever not. Because every single time, the economy or the business or the property does not wait for people. If you found something that is meant for you, you buy. It's irrelevant what the situation at the time is because you are not buying like 4 or 5 or 6. You're just buying your first home. If you're buying your first home because it's called first-time home buyer. If you're buying your first home, you just need to know what you're doing and you buy the one that suits you because you're just buying for yourself. First-time home buyer. So I'm not too concerned whatever the economic situation if I'm buying for my first time and also my first home. So the whole idea is that you've been preparing or you have not prepared, you're just learning and you're learning of how to buy your first home. So to me, it is irrelevant when you buy. Most important is the right property for you to buy as your first time home buy.
Okay, thank you, Sifu. Jim, now your turn.
All right, now I think about today's topic, I think this topic is quite related to both myself and JL over here. What is the best buy for first-time home buyer? Because we compare ourselves, both of us, to Sifu. I think we are the one closest to the first-time home buyers over here because of our age. Because we bought our first property not too long ago or so compared to Sifu. Sifu bought his first property, don't know how many thousand years already. Long time already. Sifu has owned about more than 20s and 30s over properties. He's a seasoned investor on investing in properties now. So let's talk about these things where a lot of people wanted to start their investment invest in a first-time home. All right, now I think a lot of people are trying to started to buy their first property. They think that buying the first property to to have my own stay first, so that the second property or third property, if I got money, then I go for investment. Now, I think this is most of the young people or the first-time home buyer have this mindset of thinking. You know, why need to so kanchong to buy the first house right now? Or right now it is not so stable. The economy not so stable. I buy already. I also not sure I can move in and stay or not now. If you have this kind of mindset that you wanted to buy your first house to stay, if you are very young right now, like myself and JL, we bought our first property at very young age also. Now, we do not buy the first property to stay. Why? Let me just share with you something that very great idea that what Sifu have taught us long time ago. Now, we made money through working, you know, salary, or you run your own business, you have your money making, you know, your income is coming in, and then with your income, you go and borrow loan to buy your first house. All right. And when you buy the first house, you need to pay installment if you use it for your own stay. You need to pay for the installment, you need to pay the utilities. Now, your limit of you loaning the money from the bank is there, is taken over already. Like probably 100%, you are taking about 80% for your loan credit already. So you can't loan another new property loans for you to get for investment anymore, unless your income is coming in a lot more, double or triple, so that you can loan more. Now, the chance of us getting a lot more income in this kind of situations is very little. Now, it's not say cannot, it's very little. So it's very difficult for you if you buy your first house to stay. Now, if you buy your first house to invest, the whole story has changed. Why? Because when you buy the first house right now, and at such cheap and also affordable price right now for all the properties that I'm going to throw all the pricing right now. If you buy it right now at low price for investment, and the installment is not going to pay by you, all right, it's going to rent out, and the renting, it becomes your income, and that means your income is covering your monthly installment and commitment, and that means your credit limit is not being utilized. You can actually borrow more and loan more from the bank. So that means you get another new property easily. So if you are right now, haven't started your first property investment, you are thinking that should I buy a first house to stay? Where should I buy? Now, if you are young enough, I suggest and I strongly advise that you buy your first property for investment. All right. Now, for those who are listening here right now, if you are the very young people here, are starting and planning to invest, or Louis say pro. Now, if you are thinking that you wanted to start your first house to buying for invest, all right, or stay now, and you're not sure where to play or how you're going to manage it. Now, let me just share with you this thing. We have a strategies on teach you how to buy, all right, and also what to buy for the first-time home buyer, especially for investment. All right, we have the strategies. If you want to know what myself and JL has been done recently, how we get all these first-time home buyer deals so that we can buy it and then we can invest it and then we can make money, even though you are very young age. If you want to know what is the best buy for you, all right, now what you can do is type a 1 in a chat box. You type a 1 in a chat box. All right, later on we will share with you what we have just bought. All right, later on we will share with you what we have just bought. Now, let me ask JL these questions here. Now, JL, to a lot of the first-time home buyer, especially young people here, right now, they have a lot of choices to start. Their loan capacity is very fresh. Never loaned anything before. Right now, if you would like to advise a lot of the first-time home buyer, what you wanted to invest, which kind of property that you will feel they will invest. Now, can you advise them a little bit on what kind of property they should invest? The secondary kind, the new kind of projects, what kind? Can you share a little bit more from that?
To me, I will share something that Sifu always taught us, and something that as a first-time home buyer and people who are not that rich, to actually follow these rules all the time. Don't buy a ready-made property. Do not buy a ready-made property. Why? Because if you buy into a ready-made property, you need to serve, or I should say you will need to prepare to pay back for the installment, or some of you call monthly repayment. Now, to a lot of new people over here, if you're out there, like just got your job, you are making about 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 a month, for you to immediately go and pay for something every single month that costs you about 2K, or even 1.8K over here, is gonna be very heavy to you. So my advice to all these young people over here, I mean, I'm also still young lah. Okay, these new people over here is that you buy into something that will be ready in time about 1 to 2 years. Okay, I think for time right now, about 1 year will be best for you, because you have this 1 year to get yourself ready to pay the installment later. So instead of you like buying into it, sign an S&P, immediately need to pay for your repayment on full amount, I would rather you give yourselves a little bit time, about 1 year, 6 months to 1 year, to actually get yourself ready with some cash to pay the property. You like it or not, when the property is ready, we must always rent it out fast. So to fulfill what I just said to you about something that is ready in about 1 year to 2 years, right? Always go with new project. When I say new project is something that is solid, don't go and buy this Chapalang developer one. So because we do not know whether they are good or not. So you need to do your research on project that is new, that is good, the developer is strong one, you buy into it, and you serve the interest first. This is a little bit, instead of you pay the full amount. So that will be my advice to you over here, and always buy high rise. Why? High rise demand is higher, easier for you to rent out instead of a very big square feet landed house or maybe a bungalow. So to me, high rise and also buy project that is ready in the next 6 months or maybe 1 year over here will be perfect to you, because you will have time to prepare some cash so that you can pay in 1 year time. So that's my opinion over here.
Right, thanks, JL. Now, I think one of the questions that I think very direct to Sifu here also is something that, we, myself and JL has been went through the first time home buying, I think not too long ago, I think also about 5 years ago, because we are also very young, All right, now, when coming to Sifu, that time, his first time home buying, I think is a different story already. He cannot compare now already, right? That time he buy is a different price, different game, different story now. But the thing that I want to ask is this: Sifu still getting first-time home buyer benefit? This is something that I think a lot of people are still struggling there. A lot of the people who are watching over here, they probably have their second home already, even the third house already, but they are struggling. Do we want to invest in a third house? Because when we want to go in a third house, we need to pay a lot more the down payment. But you know what? The Sifu always get the first-time home buyer benefit one. I would like to ask Sifu how you actually manage this to get those first-time home buy deal, and also how you manage this till now and build up so many properties. I think from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 5 to 6, all these games, I think it should address back to Sifu to share with a lot of us over here, Sifu.
I think everyone needs to remember, right? The term is first-time home buyer. So if you're a first-time home buyer, then you are first-time home buyer, lor. Since I'm not a first-time home buyer, I need to be buying with a first-time home buyer, lor. You all do know that your S&P can be 2 names, 3 names, 4 names, how many names also no problem. But the loan name is what you're actually trying to get. So the loan name, as long as it's a first-time home buyer on the person who is first-time home buyer loan name and not your name, then it's first-time home buyer. So go and find someone in your family, among your community, your friends, your student, your partners, whoever it may be, who is the first time, who never owned a property before. So you leverage on their name. I'm very famous of using other people's everything. So if you're good in leveraging or you're good in using other people's everything, then that's how you buy first-time home buy. So you can use your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, anybody who has never bought. As long as you know how to do it and you do it properly, you will still be leveraging on the first-time home buy, leveraging on the loan. Because the bottom line is you don't need to put your name in the loan agreement. You just need to have your name in the sales and purchase agreement, means to say you own the house, but you do not own the loan. At the end of the day also, you may not have your name in the property. You can have a separate law agreement that states that you are actually the owner with the other person. So many things also can belakang mari ma. So in America, I've been watching all these Netflix, right? I tell you, I learned a lot of things from all these American in the proper terms. In Malaysia, they call it belakang mari, right? So I thought belakang mari, this word, where did it come from, belakang mari? Actually, in America, they also have got a term for it. It's called back channeling. So in American politics, yes. If you watch Designated Survivor, or you watch House of Cards, all the politics, right? It's called back channeling. So belakang kasi mari is called back channeling. It's the same thing. Just like politics, just like business, just like investment, everything from the billions for the hedge fund, you can also back channel. You can also belakang kasi mari. So in the world of business, the big businesses and people who do big businesses, it's not depan mari punya. Depan mari cannot, because if depan mari, everybody also depan mari. Why? If everybody see what you see depan mari, means to say everybody having the same information. So what you want is, you want to do what other people don't do and people don't see what you're doing, which is called belakang kasi mari. So as long as you are back channeling your belakang kasi mari, you can do wonders, because at the end of the day, it's between you and the other partners that you're buying the properties with, right? So most important is first-time home buyers. Everybody is a potential first-time home buyer, but you have to select the partners, the first-time home buyers with you very carefully. That's usually where the problems come, if you have the wrong partners who are using their name as the first-time home buyer. I think this is very important.
No, thanks, Sifu. Now, I think I would like to add on a little bit on what Sifu have just mentioned here. Now, if I am a father with children, right? Now, and the children is about, what, 17 years old, 18 years old, would you suggest me to, tie up my name or buy the property with my children, so that I use up my children's name loan like that, so that I actually own a property with my children and my name? Would you suggest a lot of the investor would like to do it in this way, so that they can enjoy the first time home buy property benefit?
Of course, I mean, if you are a father or mother and you have already bought up to 2 or even 3 properties, and you have 4 properties, and you are not able to buy more because your loan to a value which is already maxed out, so the next purchase you have to buy is actually 70. And a lot of banks even know that the property developers are giving you extra discounts. So usually if you're the first people who go and buy, you are not stuck. Because if you are coming like the second batches or third batches, the bank finds out that the property is actually giving you a lot of cash back, giving you a lot more discount. They actually give you less loan. They don't want to give you so much loan. So you want to be the first ones, you want to be earlier to go and buy before other people submit their loan application. Because when everybody submit loan application, people will talk and they'll say that this developer actually is giving a lot more discount, up to 20, up to 30%, and then they're only going to give you a loan at 70% or even maximum 85%. So if I am a parent and I want to leverage on my children's name, definitely you will go. But at the end of the day, you must make sure the documentation for your children is actually there. You cannot just say, I want to buy one with my son's name, and your son doesn't have any income. So you also have to prepare to make sure that they have the income that is already generated for a period of time. They have to get a job, or you have to be able to create a job for them so that they have that income coming in. So you need time to prepare all these things, and I would definitely leverage on my children, leverage on my family, leverage on anyone and everyone, so that they will be able to use your financial standing to support them to have the ability to buy, and you will be able to leverage on their youth, their young age, to leverage on the 35 years maximum. Now, I think if this thing continues the way it is, I believe that the banks will probably go back to a 40-year, because at one time it was 35, then it went up to 40 years, and that's when I bought a lot, because then the monthly installment is actually very low. A lot of people made a lot of money when it was actually put out to 40 years for their monthly installment. So when you put out 40 years, your monthly installment is very low. Then as it appreciates, then you'll be able to get a lot of positive cash flow. Today, the OPI is low, but it's at 35 years. So I believe with the economic situation, a lot of people will not be able to pay at that heavy monthly installment, and they won't be able to move properties. So I believe that a lot of people, the banks will soon come back with the 40 years over here, reduce the monthly installment, because a lot of people's monthly income is not that high. So when you increase the 40 years loan, your monthly installment will be a lot lower. People will be able to buy and be able to sustain that monthly repayment. And of course, rental will be able to cover. Why? Because you pull out longer, rental lower, and people will be able to buy. Because speculators will be speculators. If you want to encourage first-time home buyers to buy, the serious first-time home buyers, you need to extend the years of loan for the reduction of monthly installment.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Sifu, for that. Okay, and also there is one thing over. There is one question in the chat box over here, which I want to borrow your opinion to actually answer this. Louis Lim said, still can buy, and then his next question over here is how to buy, or left 800 a month only, because I believe up there he said 50% cut already, or that not 50% cut. Boss want to cut 50% cut. So how to buy with 800 ringgit? So what would be your strategy over here? Because I would also want to know this.
How would I buy if I've got 800 ringgit left, is it?
On a monthly salary is about 800 ringgit left.
Now, first thing first, if you got 800 ringgit left, right, the first thing you do is you are not going to be using your money to pay, right? That's the first thing. Because your 800 ringgit, you won't be able to pay 800 ringgit out and then you won't be able to buy. The first thing I will do is always making sure I increase my cash flow coming in. So I'll be hunting down for properties that are giving me cash flow. Cash flow means to say cash back or cash payout later on. So it's either they pay me when I buy or they pay me after I buy, right? After I buy means saying when I take vacant possession, I'll actually get cash back. So either way, before or after, I will make sure cash edit comes in first. That will allow me to have the cash locked down to be able to pay my interest, pay my monthly installment, pay everything for at least 1 year to 2 years period. So they have time to then rent it out. That's the first thing I'll do. Number two is, if you really want to buy something, you can't buy it alone, go and partner up with someone. You can get up 2 friends, 3 friends, 4 friends. JL, you also did it before, ma. So you can actually partner with 2 other individuals and you'll be splitting in 3 ways for you to pay that money. So 800 ringgit is all you have. If you find someone who has got 2,000 ringgit and another person who's got 5,000 ringgit, that's a total take-home income of 8,000, right? So you have 8,000 ringgit and your total monthly installment for everybody is only about 2,000 or even no debts, a lot less debts. Your DSR is looking pretty good for 3 of you. So you may not own 100% of the property, you still own 20% of the property. 20% is still owning a property. Your name is still on the property. So you are still the owner of the property. Something better than nothing. So when you don't have 8,000 ringgit, you have 800 ringgit, then you think about owning 10% or 20%. But you start early and you agree to sell it off after 5 years, you still gain 20% of whatever the price that the property will be sold 5 years down the road. So everything is about us wanting to own something to gain capital gain when the super bull run actually comes. That's what I'll be doing if I'm making 800 ringgit. Number one, look for properties that I can actually get cash back from either developer or even secondary market. Secondary market also, you can get people to pay you cash, you know. The owner of the house will also sell you their house and give you cash. Amazing, you know? They are selling you to give you cash to take over their property. Like that also can, you just have to hunt and work harder for it. There are a lot of motivated sellers, especially times are bad, right? When times are bad, there are a lot of people just wanting to get out of their loan. They just don't want to be holding that loan and they can't hack with it. I'm sure you know also there are a lot of people who are actually killing themselves because of coronavirus, mental health issue. If I don't see Jim here in my house today, I also want to kill myself because no human beings. So I see Jim, oh, he come here, cannot tell by me a bit, then okay, I happy a bit already. Time for anything and everything because we decide on it. A lot of people just say, how to buy 500 ringgit salary cut already. Question is not how to buy. Question is, do you want to buy first? That should be the first question. All right. If we always focus on how to buy, we will always think of reasons why we cannot find ways to buy. If we always start thinking about whether we want to buy, if you want to buy, you will find ways of how you can actually buy. Wow, Louis Lim said, good explanation. Of course, good, ma, Louis. If not, you learn from me, man.
Okay, thank you, Sifu. Thank you, Sifu, on that. Now, see, now we have covered this. What is that called? This is called the salary part already. So let's talk about something over here. You see, when we already know no money you can also buy. Okay, no money you can also buy. But what makes it like what makes it so motivated for us to go into it when, like, you know, full MCO is gonna come home? Because when I do know one thing is that when full MCO happen, it will affect a lot of people like us that does own a property that is not rented out, or even is rented out, that person may not be able to pay for it. So a lot of this first time home buyer, right, they will worry, I can buy lah, but I buy already, later full lockdown again, maybe let me go for a few more months and then full lockdown again, then I'm gonna be very uncertain and it makes me very, very uncomfortable. So if someone who is thinking like that right now and still, like, you know, don't know to sign or not to sign, don't know to handle, not handle, or to go into this property investment or not, what will be the things that you want to tell these people? Because it's really uncertain. If it's like MCO only, normal MCO, I believe it's still manageable. But what if this full lockdown is keep on coming back off and on?
MCO come back off and on is irrelevant. The more MCOs, if you think like everyone else, means to say everyone is not buying, correct? If everyone is not buying, means to say what? Everybody is renting. Agree, disagree?
Yep.
Right? If people are not buying, like what you say, everyone is not buying. If everyone is not buying, that means everyone else is renting. If everyone else is renting and you're the only one buying, guess what? They will rent from you. So whether you're buying a ready property or you're buying something that's not ready, if you're buying a ready property, you can buy a property with existing tenant that is already staying in there. So hunt for properties from someone who wants to let go, who still have a tenant. Do you know that there are a lot of shop lots being presented to me that the owner wants to be letting go of their shop lot and it comes with tenant? Why? Because you do not know that they have many other shop lots that they cannot tahan anymore, or they need the cash for their business, or they need the cash for their family. Because why? Someone in the family met with an accident or have cancer and they need cash. There are a lot of reasons why people want to sell, even though they have tenants. So you can actually hunt for a property that has existing tenants. So you're just taking over the property with the loan, and then you have an existing tenant. So meaning to say that it's being rented out immediately the moment you are purchasing it. That's one, ready property. Number two, you are having all these other properties by developers that are not tenanted because it's not ready built. You're not paying for the property yet until vacant possession. You're just paying the installment of the loan. So all you need to do is calculate and make sure that you have enough to cover the installment. So the best way to do that is make sure that you get some projects where they give you cash back that can cover the interest before your property is actually ready. So in both approaches, you also don't have to have money to come out. So what is there to worry about? In fact, you can find a lot of all these deals because of exactly what you just mentioned. Everybody out there is so worried and afraid that they will not be able to do this. They will not be able to do this. If everyone is not doing this, it means that there are a lot of desperate motivated sellers and there are a lot of desperate developers. If there are a lot of desperate of two, that means your options are a lot greater. If you have a lot greater options, that means you are going to be getting great deals if you start hunting for them. So the bottom line is exactly what you said, because everybody don't do and you do, you definitely have people who rent your place. Meaning say whatever you buy, sure got market will rent your space. Do you know in such bad times, the rental market is a lot better? Rental market means a lot more people is actually renting than they are buying. So because more people are renting, whatever you choose to buy, people will rent from you. There you go.
Right now, I think
thank you very much. Back to you.
I think what Sifu has just highlighted over here is very critical. If you can just catch what he just mentions over here now, a lot of the desperate seller, a lot of the desperate developer. Now, something that I wanted to share with you here is this. Now, we recently met a lot of the different developers, group of developers, and also the main person, all right, in the developers group right now, and we get a lot of great deals. A lot of great deals. Now, when I say great deals, what am I mean? That means if your neighbor is buying that unit or the house at 500,000, all right, and our great deals are same unit, same building, exactly the same square feet, all right, we are actually buying at 400,000. Now, this is something that what I have just mentioned over here and what Sifu has just mentioned over here. Yes, we recently just met few good developers and we are talking to them. All right. Now, every single month here, what we're gonna have is we're gonna visit, all right, virtually or physically to those developers, units, and properties projects. Now, all these projects are brand new and great project, and probably you never heard it yet. Why? Because it's very VVIP, it's very pre-launch. All right. Now, if you wanted to know where are these great deals about, where are all these great deals and how we're gonna go about it now, what we're gonna do is we will gonna have all of our communities and Sifu and potentially some of you over here to visit and also go and buy some great deals. Right, the discounted, like what Sifu has just mentioned, the desperate developer is hungry to sell right now, and you will get the properties at below market value price. Now, myself and JL has experienced many times with Sifu shopping with the whole group together. and we get a great deal. That's why before we even sell the property, at the moment we buy, already make money. I would like to let JL share a little bit on what is the experience on how we can actually buy this, great deals, and what is his experience, and what can you share the little feelings on what you have done with this great buying now. Before I pass it to JL, for those who are right now very hot already, bro, what you have just mentioned, I want to be part of it now. If you want to be part of us and shopping with us, okay, type I want in chat box. Now, if you do not type, we do not know, so that we expect you do not want it. Quite enough. If you type I want in the chat box, now Raymond Lim is already very, very fast. Before I even say something, he already looking forward to the group shopping with Sifu now. Now, you have to type I want in the chat box. So can only send you where is it, Mark, correct or not? If you say you want to buy but you don't type it, then how we send you the information, correct or not? If you want to know, all right, where to grab all these great deals, type I want in the chat box. Now, while you are typing, let JL share with you a little bit of why we can get this such discount at this time, all right? And also what is feeling when he get all these great deals and when we go shopping together.
Now, guys, I'm really glad to share this thing because it has been quite wonderful of our property investment journey over here. Now, for those of you who are thinking that, why does so many people why can so many people found all this cheap deal, below market value deal, and why is these people buying the same property with me but he buy at a much more cheaper price? Guys, sometimes strategy like this, you need to get to know the right people. Sometimes if you are alone, especially in MCO time, if you are alone right now, you do not have a community, if you do not have the right people next to you, someone who you can actually approach to for you to actually ask questions from, it's very difficult one, Okay, what I've experienced over the years is very simple. First is, I always have Sifu Ernie with me. This is first thing. Now, with Sifu Ernie with me, but without my action over here, I won't be able to get what I get today also. But how can we get, most importantly is, how can we get into all this so exclusive deal, is because we have a group of people who are very serious coming together to go and look at property all the time. And you know why we always get below market or not? It's because whenever we buy, or whenever we go and talk to any developer, we have a lot of people coming together. When we buy, right, the developer is like, in one time you want to take so many together with so many people. So immediately these people, right, they will be thinking like, oh, okay, then if you can take so much, if you got so many prospects, if you got so many potential people that is interested together, right, okay, why not I give you a very, very fantastic deal that you cannot find outside. Now, so this is the difference compared to us and a lot of people out there. When we buy, we have more bargaining power because we have a lot of people with us with the same goal over here. But when you are alone out there, you may not be able to do what we do, is because you got no bargaining power, you got no information, you got no guidance, you got no Sifu, you got no experienced people tell you what to do. Like us, if you want to go in alone, you can do that also. But what is the best way for you to get into the right property? So that's the point over here. So many people always ask me, how can we do it? How can we do it? Like myself in gym over here, so young, we can do so many things with properties because we got the right people, we got the right community, we have the right Sifu with us to actually, tell us what to do. So if you are wondering how we can do all these things and you want to be part of it, very simple. There is a link that we pin at our comment box over here already. You want to be part of us, okay, to know exactly how we do it and to be one of the beneficial, okay, you need to click on the link and go and check it out of what we actually do. And in that link itself, after you filled up your information, after you talk to us, immediately you will be invited to a session where we'll be sharing with you how we do that, and you will finally understand why we can do what we do today and most of the people out there cannot do. So guys, JLI, I've done it myself, okay, that is how I got all my properties with Sifu over here. You can also do the same thing, but most importantly is you need to follow, and you need to keep your mind open-minded to actually listen to someone who are trying to help you over here. So you know what? That's my sharing over here. I hope I don't talk too much. That review all the information.
Great. I mean, you are sharing your wonderful experience and what we have experienced over here now throughout the whole property investment journey. Now, for those who are here listening and you haven't typed I want, now we will not send you the information. Now, for those who have just typing over here, like David, Karen and Raymond, now go do check your what we call it, the inbox later. Later our team will send you some information that what we're gonna do with you so that we are prepared to go and shopping together. Now, if you want to get the information, go and check your inbox later, and we're gonna invite you to our exclusive session, which is tomorrow happening. Right now, if you wanted to learn right now, everyone is preparing for MCO. Now, what you can do right now is to preparing yourself to go for a great deal, to invest in a great deal. Right now, if you still do not know where to find, we already tell you. All right. There is a place that we already counting everything already, and at below market value price, you still don't take any actions. I do not know how to help Jin Shen. Right now you type I want already. Just now you didn't show up, and now you pop up already. But we still okay. Then you still type I want. We still entertain. Right? As long as in this live chat box over here you type I want, we will get our team to send you the information. So right now, what you can do is to continue typing I want, because right now with this 9:17 over here, we are gonna end our weekly Show Me the Money show over here. We will only have 45 minutes with Sifu over here. If you want to have long sessions with him, all right, go type I want and check your inbox, because we shall review what is the big deal. All right. With that, thank you so much to join in today the Show Me the Money show. All right. We shall see you again at home next week, the Show Me the Money show. All right. With that, thank you so much. Thank you, Sifu. Thank you, JL. See you all. Bye bye.
Bye bye, buddy. See you next week. Bye bye.